Why I hate the word content. Yes. Today on Trekland Tuesdays Live, number 199, with me, Dr. Trek, Larry Nemecek, coming at you right from the heart of Trekland through Portal 47 to bring you some clarity, sanity, and the big picture in all things Star Trek. Oh, at least in a lot of them anyway. Hey, everybody. Thank you. Welcome back for another Tuesday here at Trekland Tuesdays Live, number 199. And you know what that means. I'm going to talk about that in a second. Hey, I've got this topic. We're going to talk about it. It's kind of an amazing day. And you can jump in here on the chat if you are not quite sure about being in with us. We've got a great community. They'll all be here in the chat. I hope so. I don't see anybody yet. I'm sure they will be. What do we have here? Hey, alrighty then. Yes, if you're new, jump in the chat. If you're not, well, that's what happens. If you're on YouTube and Twitch, you're seeing all the chat. Just remember, and if you're on Facebook, you're only seeing Facebook, okay? So look, I'm so glad. Pull up a chair, pull up a deck chair, a bridge chair, whatever you're going to be. I want to talk about something a little obscure, and I'm going to be totally not off the cuff, but I'm going to be winging it here. But listen, we've got a lot of news this week. Hang on. A lot of special things are coming up, a lot of special days for me. So I want to tell you all about that. Maybe I should say right now, maybe I should say this just off the top of the head, and I'll get to that topic in a second. But look, I'm very excited because, yeah, we are show number 199 in no small part in thanks to some of these folks. And I've only had the Patreon for about 1.5 years or 2 years. So I want to thank all these guys, and I will a little later. But we want to thank our Patreons. But a lot of you have been with me for a long time. Next week is going to be, are you ready for this? Yay, Scott. Next week is going to be Trekland Tuesdays Live, special show 200. I'm going to have this all over the place on the interwebs. So look for this, not just a cool logo, but a special show driven by one of you. So I'm going to just say this up front so we get it out there. Hey, not on the Facebook page, not on good old Larry's Trekland, but I need an email. If you have a theme idea or a big topic question, okay, something about the clarity, sanity, and big picture in Star Trek, if you have something that's very deep diverly, right from the heart of Trekland, like we do in Portal 47 and all things Trekland, send it to me. Email it. I think everybody has email. Okay. Email it to larry@larrynemecek.com. Got that? Larry@larrynemecek.com. Now, if you do, I will send you a piece of merch out of our new Trekland store once it's open. I'm jumping the gun on this, but we're going to have some items up for some of my different brands and logos, and I will get you something. Maybe we'll even communicate, and I'll ask you what's your favorite, and we'll get it to you. But that will be not the only thing that's going out the door for the 200th episode. You see those two books right there? There is a Star Trek Lost Scenes book and a brand new, well, that's been out a year, but that book is still in its shrink wrap, I'll have you know. And the other one is the new DS9 handbook from all things Hero Collector Eagle Moss. I'm going to give away both of those live on show 200 as well, after or amidst this winning topic that one of you is going to send me. Okay. I'm so excited about this. I'm just going to say it up front. We're going to draw for those. How do you get in the drawing? Go to larrynemecek.com. There's a button that's soon going to be much prettier, but right now the basic is there and it'll work. Just click on that and tell me your favorite series. That's all you got to do. Be on that and you will be in the drawing that we will do live for both of the books in the middle of next week when I am pontificating and apple crating on a topic that one of you are going to send me. Okay. So in a way, I'm kind of slumming for the 200th, but not really, because I'm putting in a lot of infrastructure time here. So again, once again, I'll repeat it again. It's larry@larrynemecek.com. Send me your idea. Just say 200th theme. okay, in the memo line. I should have put that down because I get email on that address. And I will put, now look, in the case there are duplicates, the first one I receive will be the winner, okay? If it comes down to that one, right? We're keeping it simple here, but I'll also be deluged, I know. So that's very exciting. I've got another anniversary coming up this week. I'll tell you more about it, but this Saturday is also our 50th Live Support Live on Saturday Live. So I'll have more of that. That's a special event happening too, but not as big as the 200th. I mean, come on. This is obviously 4 times bigger. And then I share that show with Ali. So is that divide by 2 or is that times 2? I don't know. Time travel headache gives me time travel math gives me headaches. So, but anyway, it's a big week happening, and there's still other stuff going on this week and weekend. I'll get to that in a minute. But first, it wouldn't be a Trekland Tuesdays Live without me, getting up on my soapbox here for just a couple minutes. And this is not a topic, you heard me say at the beginning, this is not a topic that's the end of the world. But you know me, I always try to take something that's not quite the same old you're getting around the interwebs this week and right now. Why I hate the word content. Let me tell you a little story, kiddos. No, I remember when I worked at my hometown newspaper where I went to after grad school. The Norman Transcript, home of the Sooners. Yay. Always been a very proud suburban paper outside Oklahoma City, but always the biggest city of the suburbs and the biggest newspaper, the most independent. And yes, it was a Democratic newspaper, really outside of the Republican conservative Daily Oklahoman and Oklahoma City proper. And in the old days, the Oklahoma City Times in the afternoon. But aside from it just being the Democratic paper and the progressive paper, it was the biggest paper outside the city and Tulsa's papers in the state, and it had its very own proud traditions, and it had been owned by the same group for ages since the land run. And very famously, it went into business on April 22nd, the run of '89. And then when I had been there a year, it was bought by a chain. And yes, that was typical, right? That was the coming tide. So the family ownership went into a chain, which really wasn't political. It was just a chain. And I remember not the first general manager we had, and there were changes, and it was, sorry guys, it was the oil bust '80s, and we went 3 years without a raise. Just saying. But the second general manager we had, I remember he was showing the building off to someone, and he came to the newsroom, and he was looking at our bulletin board and all that, and everybody being busy, and we inherited way more reporters than were typical at a typical Don Ray Reynolds. His corporation, he went from billboards to news. That should tell you something. But we were doing our stuff, and well aware by that time, after 3 or 4 years, that we were the newspaper. We were bumping our heads against the ceiling. As far as we had all the growth was happening to our smaller brethren papers. There were 15 other Don Ray papers in the state by then, and we were the flagship, which is great, except for when everybody else gets to grow and you don't get to grow because you're already big already. But I just remember our general manager bringing people through the newsroom one day and looking at our bulletin board and looking at the army, all 10 or 12 of us or whatever, of editors and writers, and 3 sports writers and a sports editor, woo, and 2 photographers, and saying, yes, something. We're producing so much content every day. And I happened to be almost walking by, and it just made me stop. And I go, no, I'm thinking, what? We're making content. We're writing news and essays and editorials and feature articles. We're doing news and features. and across the other departments, they're photographing and creating, and they're illustrating, and they're making ads and selling ads, and they're printing downstairs. The first thing, I told this in short end, sorry. It really struck me like we were all just making dog food on the assembly line. When he said, yes, we make a lot of content here, all I saw were just cans of dog food on an endless assembly line. At least Lucy and Ethel's chocolate bonbons tasted good. And they were small. It just felt like we were cranking it out. Like one big mold. Pour it in the mold. Fill the can. Content. Now, look, I know any good book has a table of contents, and that table of contents refers to contents that hopefully, if you're picking it up and looking at it, is something that's going to entertain you or inform you or make you mad or make you happy. But it's something that's going to affect you. Now, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the plural. I'm talking about the singular word content. If you ever look at a box of cereal, you may look at an inner flap and see this box is marked by weight, not by volume. Some settling of contents may have occurred during shipping and handling. Some settling of contents may have occurred during shipping and handling. I know it's plural, but still, is it a box of cornflakes? It's just a box of cornflakes. And there's times when just a box of cornflakes is exactly what you want. Yay. And you'll probably put some milk and or sugar and or fruit on those cornflakes. Apparently you do this if you're a boomer, because apparently millennials and all the other gens have blown up eating cereal. But that's a sidebar. Cereal is a lot of carbs. And as much as I grew up on cereal, I've totally cut them out of my diet the last 10 years. It's really strange where a special dinner would be a bowl of Fruity Pebbles or some Frosted Flakes. But I digress. Contents, dog food, cereal, which is fine if what you want is dog food and cereal, but no one's looking for any, dare I say it, art in that. No one's looking for anything distinguished in that. You want a standard, yes. You want the same thing every time, and you don't want to be fooled. Okay, good enough. You don't want a bad can of dog food out of that 10 million made that year. You don't want a bad box of Sugar Frosted Flakes made that year out of the billions. But as far as box to box and can to can, that's what you expect. My former general manager at the time, talking about all of us cranking, he didn't say the word crank. That was the verb phrase that came to mind. All of us creating content like we were just on an assembly line churning it out, because they'll read anything. No, they won't. In fact, everything gradually went down over the years with us and everybody else as far as readers go. And yeah, technology change. Okay, fine. Dead tree media, fine. Look, guys, my point here is, yes, we live in an interwebs, intertubes world now. Still old media, but whatever the media is, we have this phrase now. Content creators. Content creators. I'm sorry. I've run screaming from the room. If somebody calls me a content creator, I think, my God, I hope I'm doing better than cranking out dog food or cornflakes. Now, if at the risk of being the cranky old guy on the solar sector yard here, I'm saying this is just me. This is just me. Apparently, the world has passed me by. But I do wonder sometimes with as many, I mean, look, my mind went here because I was thinking about what people do, what our Trek niche does here on the interwebs, what the world at large does, whether it's politics or sports or name your passion, what we're doing here. And sadly, on the hate cycle too, whether it's clickbaity, I'm going to fool you, or it's just in your nose, hate mongering. And heaven knows we've had enough, if not insanity, if not hate, just pure out insanity connected with the hate. Again, hashtag stop Asian hate. Stop law, hashtag BLM. Hashtag, and I love this, and I'd forgotten this, and hashtag, shout out to Heather Barker, all the women at Warp for popularizing IDIC means BLM. And I don't mean Bureau of Land Management. Black Lives Matter. But all the content creators of all stripes that we have on the webs these days, I don't know. I mean, it's like, yes, it's an all-in-one Chiron second line, bottom thirder. But is it? look, to me, it's a great blurring. I guess what bugs me here is what makes me go to dog food and cornflakes. Not that there's anything wrong with them when that's what you want, but do you really want content? Do you really want content just pumped down your throat, IV'd into your arm? What does that even mean? Are you going to read the ingredients label on content? I mean, if that's true, you walk in a grocery store and everything in the store could say content on the box or the can. I miss the days. I guess what I'm saying is I miss the days when we had writers, or we had producers or directors or actors or impersonationists or essayists or columnists, and yes, even bloggers. I miss the days when we had hosts and interviewers. I miss the days when we had specificity. I mean, heaven forbid, how long will it be until we just have one big fat Oscar or Emmy or Golden Globe for, and the Oscar this year for content goes to... Yeah. Am I tilting at windmills here? Maybe. I just know that maybe part of the bar here and what we expect from the stuff being cranked out at us on the interweb, and a lot of that's is ego-driven, it's profit-driven. I get that. I'm not knocking the quantity here. I'm knocking, the quality. And hey, there is tons of high quality stuff. I was just watching Steve Shrive's video, which was like, it's like an essay put to, I admire his time. And of course, he's Patreoning and supporting himself that way. And good on him. So many more. Jesse Ginger, so many more. My friends John and Norm at Mission Log produce an essay every week. The women at Warp do. It's the art of those folks is far above what I'm winging with every week. Although I still try to make a point here. I'm keeping this simple. So no fancy schmanz tech here, although that may be down the line. Who knows? But if it is, I want you to know that I am producing an opinion piece. Okay? I'm doing a commentary. This is not content. I could go, you know what? Even my glass of Diet Dr. Pepper, it's Diet Dr. Pepper. This is not a glass of content. This is something specific, and I like it, or I don't like it. And then I can sound off about it, or I can not buy it again. And I know content creator is a generic, but I just think sometimes we generic ourselves to death. Yeah, I'm tilting at windmills. I'm going off on a rant here. But seriously, there is a reason why we have categories at all the award shows. I don't know. It's not a thing that I'm going to change overnight or expect anybody to. I don't know if I really want to change. How about just some mindfulness? Can we just be a little more mindful? Can we just even call ourselves something besides a content creator? I might be really good at hashing out Alpo or some off-brand local store brand cornflakes. I don't know. I don't have the room for an assembly line. Although, if you look at my wall on even my YouTube now, much less the old Facebook wall, video, you might think I was cranking it out. But some of that goes back 10 years. So, bear with me. I don't know. How do you feel about this? I mean, has something even crosses your radar? Is this just a thing that bugs me? Am I just going all Andy Rooney on this? And Google it if you don't know what Andy Rooney was. Maybe so. I've hinted at this a couple of times in the past. I just thought it was worth a full explanation for once. Plus, it got me through another week before we get to the big 200 next week, okay? And it's on your back to see what you want me to do. And basically, it's like a big glorified AMA. It's like having an and I don't mean the American Medical Association. Pre-internet days, that's what that stood for. It's like STC used to stand for Star Trek Communicator. But yeah, send me now, guys, it's got to be on brand, okay? Don't have me talk about the rise and fall of the Oakland Raiders or something, or I don't know, or, wax pontificately here about The Last Jedi or something. Please, can we keep it Trek? And keep it, something thematic to fandom. Here's my caveats. Not the biggest gamer, okay? Maybe on a meta level, So, keep it to background, keep it to fandom trends, keep it to Trek history. What's something you always wanted to hear me talk about that's bigger than a single question? And oh my God, the chat has been going here. Remember, if you're still with me and you're over on Twitch, I will get to the chat in a minute after our midway break. We're going to take a break here in just a second. And those of you live and on Facebook and Twitch have nothing to worry about. If you're watching me later and live on YouTube, if you are watching us later on YouTube, things will all end, and I invite you to watch us live on Tuesdays, okay? As we head into the post-bicentennial no, it's not a centennial because that's 100. It's 200 years. The bicentennial, yes, of Trekland Tuesdays live. Yeah. I mean, well, I'll save that for next week. I'll save the pontificating, the remembering for next week. But that's the deal, guys. Again, I'll repeat it at the end. I guess this is the end. LarryNemecek.com. Send your ideas. Oh, the switchboard is lighting up now. Look at the tote board take off. Okay? LarryNemecek.com. Send me your 200 theme idea. And I'll pick the winner, and you'll get a piece of merch that's going to be emerging from probably a glass or a mug or something. Okay? I will undertake to do that for you. Now, that's our 200th coming up. Please spread the word far and wide. If you're already on my news list or you just got on, then you'll get word about that and all of these special events. Okay? Because as we wrap up here on the first half, I want to remind you about that. And also, that's next week at this time on all these same Warp channels. Trekland Tuesdays Live, 50th episode is coming up Saturday. That's going to be an AMA on the run. We're going to have some fun news for you on Saturday at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. Hey, it's an hour earlier. It's 5 p.m. this time, UK time, 6 in Central Europe, because just like today, we're in the weird 2-week glitch of we are on daylight savings here and you're not on your summertime yet. Okay? Anyway, Live Support Live is coming up. We'll have a special show then, too. Otherwise, guys, thanks. We're going to get to the parrots and the chat after the break, but I do want to give a shout out every week. And yay, new sign, finally. See, I'm in celebratory mood. Hey, I do want to thank out Blaze K, Robin Wilson, Lawrence Todd, Anne-Marie Siegel, Blake Arledge, Justin Porteous, and Nathaniel Robinson for being in the TTL Club on our Patreons. And hey, our live wires, yes, our TTL live wires, Rusty Harrell, Halbert Gunn Johnson, Jalen Bullock, Gary Williams, Jared Cooper, Mr. Vestek, Robert McLean, and Casey Shatsky. Thank you guys so much. If you're wondering what all the fuss is about and you're not aware of Patreon, you might want to check it out. My corner of Patreon is patreon.com/TreklandLive. I've just got a simple $5 and $10 thing levels. That's it every month. Patreon bills you. It comes out. I get the list. And you get a thank you from me every week. And if you're on the $10, what we call the live wires, because I was desperate for names almost a year ago, you get the shout out every month. Thank you for spreading gradually, finally, our multi-streaming here at Trekland. And the $10 get access to some first generation Portal 47 backstage interviews that I'm overdue to get out to you guys. And yes, I know, guys and gals. So I was informed that guys and gals may not be inclusive enough, so I need to start going to folks. So that's what I'm going to do, starting here. So I'll be in practice by Saturday. Folks, I also want to just a quick reminder, if you're not sending me any money, that's totally cool. There's lots to take your money. I hear the Voyager documentary is still, my God, congratulates to them. More on that in a second, though. But if you have a little spare change, I'm just keeping this alive. Friends of Michael Braveheart, he was Ensign Martinez. He was Dr. Crusher's 6-year and 2-movie silent nurse, long before Nurse Ogawa got to open her mouth and talk, Patty Yazataki. But Michael Braveheart's got some medical issues. He has a very modest $3,000 GoFundMe for medical reasons up. This is an old clip. He's now halfway. He's about 1,500, thanks to some spurts from all the Trek community. So check that out. It's at GoFundMe. Michael Braveheart, just the way it sounds. Okay. Anyway, I already told you about Live Support Live. We go boldly through uncertain times every week. It's our 50th episode this week. It's going to be an Ask Me Anything live. So show up and throw a question out for either the fake doctor or the real doctor. on all things Star Trek, merged through a mental health lens, or vice versa. Yeah. Hey, and the Trek Files. The Trek Files is also up this week. We've got Dan Madsen, my one-time boss, full-time colleague and buddy, talking about a 1975 memo Gene wrote about the connection between fandom and collecting and stuff and memorabilia. You don't want to miss this. He was explaining to someone 2 years before Star Wars, this burgeoning thing about fans, sci-fi genre fans, and collectibles and collecting, and who better to talk about that than my old boss at the official fan club, Dan Madsen. It's great. It's our episode this week. 6 seasons at podcast.roddenberry.com or our Facebook page. Guys, that's it for the live. If you're watching us wherever you are right now on YouTube, that's my Twitter, Larry Nemecek. And if you're on Facebook with us, that is also my Instagram, Larry Nemecek's Trekland. And of course, if you like deep diving here and now and then, all things Star Trek, Minicon all year long, portal47.net is the way to go. There's that logo. I'm hoping to have merch from all my brands, all the podcasts, all the shows up there. If anybody wants to show a little support or sound off or be an evangelista or whatever, or just for fun, it'll be there. It'll be there. Just low-key stuff, guys. Yes. So anyway, I don't know. We'll see what everybody's thinking about content and dog food and cornflakes and the interwebs here in a second. If you're going to be on with us live here. But if not, I want to say thanks for joining us later, if not live. And most of all, we've got a long ways to go in this pandemic thingy. So please be well. Hashtag wear a damn mask. No matter what your ding-dong governor is telling you, there's virulent strains out there. You know, there's a line from Patton when they're on the eve of the Battle of the Bulge. And someone says to George Patton, Patton says, well, I know, like some of you seem to have forgotten, that we can still lose this damn war, as the Germans are making the German army is making one last desperate push to try to cut the Allies in half and not win, but sue for peace. Well, the virus is still out there trying to sue for not peace, not anything. It doesn't know anything because it's not political and it's not classist. So please, guys, wear your damn mask. Just take the precautions. Just be smarter than a virus. Please, be well. And be woke. Check the sources as you try to navigate this world and be a better person. But I think you've got all that handled if you just keep it simple. And trek well, everybody.